Is it 2 o'clock?
It is 1:59.
Uh-oh. Never let it be said that I get started late. I'm a late learner, but we'll be fine. Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
It's been a great day so far. We had two amazing seminars over there, Troy and Mike. But right now we're going to talk about something heart-wrenching, if you will, is health. I am 68 years old. I've survived the big C word twice. I am 10 years clear as of September 30th. And a lot of you, everybody knows this, a lot of people know the story. I did over 450 events while going through chemo and radiation. Nothing stops me from doing the job that I was meant to do, and that is to spread love as much and as many times as I can. Since 2020, it's been a tough 3 years. I lost one of the icons in this business and one of the icons in my heart, Mr. Richard Mills over in New Zealand. He was only supposed to last 3 months. He had brain cancer. He lasted 3 years. Take every day that you have and every event that you do like it was the last one you were ever going to have. Because you know what? You never know. Tomorrow could be the day. A very dear friend, I got a phone call Friday night sitting at home. She went to work on Friday morning. An hour later, they found her dead in her office. You never, ever know. So take care of yourselves, guys. I've lost 60 pounds since January, since actually April when I started the real thing, because it's time. As I said, I'm 68. I have events into the end of 2025. I'll be 70 years old. Those contracts include a walker, a wheelchair, and a guy that goes clear when I'm done. But we're going to be hearing from a couple of wonderful friends and brothers. But first, the host here. A nice round of applause for Mr. Mike Fernino.
I'm the host?
Yeah, you're the host.
When did I become the host?
I do all the talking. Go ahead, help yourself.
All right. Well, it is such a unglamorous topic, but I just think it's an incredibly important topic. So many of the DJs that are here, hopefully you're all feeling great. Hopefully you're all doing well and living a healthy lifestyle. But I want to tell you that it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of if something's going to happen. It's just inevitable, because what I found is that we stand on concrete and we stand on wood floors and we stand for hours and we carry heavy equipment. We lift speakers up and we contort our bodies in ways. And we also expose ourselves to stress. We expose ourselves to really bad food. We expose ourselves to crazy hours, and then we go to diners at 2 a.m. because we're starving because we had really bad food. And we eat more really bad food. And all of that just adds up. And what we do is such a privilege. It's such a fantastic industry, and we are all blessed. And I'm sure most of you know that. But there are pitfalls. And that is what we want to talk about today, because what we're hoping is going to happen is that we just open your eyes as to some things, small changes you can make that will drastically improve the opportunity to gain longevity and health and keeping optimal health in this business. So I just had the very first surgery of my entire life. I've been very, very lucky to never have a surgery. And I have to get hip replacement surgery. So this surgery of my shoulder happened because of my hip replacement surgery, because simply the doctor told me, he said, you have to lose some weight. You're hypertensive, your blood pressure is out of control. You're going to have to lose some weight. We can't put you on the table and take you in for the hip replacement surgery. And so I did what I had to do. I changed my entire eating habits, started doing intermittent fasting, stopped eating all the things that I love so much, and made changes, and it worked. So I went into the hip doctor, and he saw me, and I said, so how about now? And he said, fantastic. You did great. Go ahead and schedule your hip replacement surgery, and we'll get you up and running. So I went, I did that. It was a very happy day for me. I ran home. I went home onto my deck, and there were some garbage bags on the deck, and I told my 17-year-old, would you please get rid of these for me? Old man's tired. And so then 2 hours later, my teenager said, Dad, can I have some snacks? I'm really hungry. Sure. I went out onto the deck. It was dark. Black garbage bags fell, boom, shoulder, tore my rotator cuff, ripped my bicep right off the bone. On the very day that I was told that I could have my hip replacement surgery. So I went back in, and the surgeon's like, weren't you here just yesterday? Yeah. I need to see your colleague who does shoulders. So anyway, it will happen. Something will happen. And what we want to talk about is not only how to help you with your health, but also we want to get you thinking about backup plans, financial plans in case you're out of work for a while, your associations, the people that you have working with you or who you know that can back you up, and just a general plan when and if something happens. So that is the topic, and we also have some very special guests. Todd Powers will be up in just a minute, dear friend of both of ours. And so let's get started. Big Daddy?
All right. I'm looking out here and I'm looking at some amazing people. Each and every one of you is amazing. My message has been always be as positive as you can, smile as loud as you can, but first and foremost, if you have family, they come first, no matter what. Yeah, I'm busier than hell. I'm blessed to be as busy as I am. But I'm now the proud grandfather of 6 amazing human beings. And you know what? Those 6 amazing human beings are my life. My 2 sons are 2 of the greatest human beings in the world. And it has nothing to do with me. It has because of who they are. My daughter-in-laws are not my daughter-in-laws. They are daughter. They are my daughters. And after the last scare, within the last 7-8 months, I sat back, and of course I talk to myself. I talk to myself all the time. I'm the only one who will listen to me. But it's time. Yes, I'm not working during the week. The only time I'm going to work during the week, no more karaoke during the week or anything else like that. I'll do a couple of things. I'm going to make as much time as I can for those 6 little wonderful, wonderful human beings. Sean, Asher, Kellen, Caden, Piper, and coming up in the rear, the anchor of them all, CC, my little girl from Florida. Yes, I love what I do. And yes, a lot of you see my videos and stuff, my boxing. Oh, that's all you do is boxing? Oh, no, my friends. 40 minutes before I start that boxing, my man is kicking my ass from one end of the gym to the other. And all I hear is, how old is that man? Yes, I'm 68, and I'm kicking ass like a 30-year-old, and I don't care who thinks anything about it. As of August 20th, I'm going to be filming a Netflix show with Flo, my trainer, because they've asked me to be a part of this never-ending series about health and older age and everything. We're bringing up one of my closest and dearest friends in the world, Mr. Todd Powers, in just a minute, who health challenges, my man, you are one of the greatest inspirations of all time. And a friend of ours that is not here with us because he's not allowed to be here because he can't drive that far, Mr. Dave Stevenson, had the same thing that Todd's going to be talking about, the Widowmaker. My friends, it can happen at any time. I don't care how good a physical shape you're in or whatever it is. You never, ever, ever know. Please take care of yourself. And also, thanks to my friend, Mr. Chris D'Amico, who I am honored to be the 2022 recipient of the Kindness for Christopher Award. Chris, could you stand up for a minute, please? This man right here, it is a shame he is not speaking at this conference because that's a seminar that if you want to talk to somebody about inspiration, motivation, everything else, talk to this man right here. He had a life-altering situation that he handled and handles each and every day. Each and every day. If anything like that had happened to any of us, where would we be? Talk to that man right there. Please. Just pull him to the side, whatever. Chris, I love you and I thank you for who you are. Yeah, good nice round of applause for Chris, please.
And before we bring up Todd, also, I don't want this to sound self-serving, but I do this podcast called the DJ Idea Sharing Podcast. I'm really proud of a particular episode that I'd like to, I'll put it up in the group if you guys want to listen to it. If you haven't listened to it, it's with Marcello Pendolino. And it's an actual episode that Marcello graciously did with me about intermittent fasting, and it's tremendous. He's just one of the healthiest people that you'd ever meet. But the podcast that we did, he really gets in depth about it and explains it because some people don't understand it. Some people don't want to understand it, but it does work. And I know dozens and dozens of people that do it or have done it and have found success. So I will put it up in the group, and I would recommend everyone in here, if you have the opportunity, take a listen to it because Marcello really goes into a very deep, now I'm Fernino again. He goes into a very deep explanation of it and how it works and how you can do it. So I would highly recommend taking a listen to that episode.
Absolutely. Now, go back to Dave Stevenson. That was last week. Mm-hmm. This man I'm going to bring up right now is from Connecticut, entertainer extraordinaire, but even more importantly, a father and a human being extraordinaire. My dear friend, Mr. Todd Powers. A nice round of applause for Todd, please.
Todd, put this
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Sean. Thank you all for taking the time to come in here. We're standing room only. This is awesome. Not really. I know there's chairs there, but and I'm going to stand while doing this because I want you to remember this phrase right here. Sitting is the new smoking for our generation now. Okay, think about that for a second. Back when we started, people used to smoke at weddings and stuff like that, and we were sucking this stuff up. And now, if you're sitting at a desk all day, and I know you guys are sitting, so don't, man, try to stand. Get a standing desk if you can, stuff like that. So we're going to talk a little about that. I'm going to tell you guys this: health over everything. Who wants to see like the newest Pioneers turntable today? I'm like, right? Right? Who wants to, we're talking stems and all that stuff. Does any of that stuff matter if you're in a hospital room or if you're in a coffin? I mean, and so the reason why I'm up here is I'm going to tell you my story. 2011, I'm thinking I'm a healthy guy. I'm doing what everyone else is doing. I'm maybe a little overweight, but I decided I'm going to do P90X. Anyone know P90X? Tony Horton? Okay, we all know that, right? High volume exercise course. And so I'm in day 83. Day 1, I can't do one pull-up. I'll be the first to admit that. By the end, I'm doing sets of 10. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really working. I'm getting abs again. I'm feeling great. But I'm getting dizzy every now and then. I'm setting up, I'm breaking down, I'm going to pick up a speaker, and I'm getting a little dizzy. I'm like, that's what happens when you're 40, right? Who's at least 40 in this room or over or higher? Okay, listen. That happens all the time, right? It's normal. That's not normal. That's not normal. And so one of the messages I'm going to give to you today is listen to your body. Listen to your body. I was getting dizzy, and I just ignored it. No big deal. Doing P90X, I'm on day 83. I passed out on the couch. My son Kim's here. He was doing his homework. He didn't even probably know what happened. And I go over to my wife. I'm like, I think I just passed out. And she's like, what? My dad died at 54 from heart disease. I'm like, I'm fine. I have abs. I'm fine, right? Long story short, I go to the doctor. 95% clogged. The left anterior descending artery, which is one of your main arteries, nicknamed the Widowmaker, man. So I'm in there and literally watching the whole process happen. And the doctor's talking to me. He's like, hey, you look great. You're in great shape. Da-da-da. What do you do? I'm like, oh, P90X. Like, oh. And so he says to me, oh, you look good. And then he says, oh, geez, look at that. Do you see that? And I'm watching this is happening. And there's a big white thing on the screen. And I'm like, what is that? He's like, that's your left anterior descending. You know what the nickname is? I'm like, no. It's the Widowmaker. He's like, you're 95% clogged. I'm like, oh my gosh, what does that even mean? He's like, we're going to put a stent in. Do you have any objections? And I'm like, what are my options? He's like, you'll be dead in a month. I'm like, what are you waiting for? Let's go. So he does it, and it saved my life. So long story short is P90X saved my life. I got to meet Tony Horton, the guy who created P90X. Went up to him, shook his hand, said, Tony, you saved my life. He's like, I didn't save your life. I told him the story. He goes, I saved your life. He said, Todd, do me a favor. Go have an amazing life. This is, 14 years ago. Go have an amazing life. You've earned it. You were doing, my cardiologist said if I wasn't working out at that high, intense level, I would have been at a wedding. I would have been at one of my kids' games. And just, boom, gone. I was a walking time bomb. So he said, go share your story with other people. You want to help other people if you can. So we're going to talk about, to me, the three important things of health and how to be better at it. To me, it's hard, man, especially in our profession. You guys talked about it before. Like, the food is just so good at every wedding and so forth, right? It's really hard not to, to do that. So three things I want to mention to you guys is, the thing I want to say is, what would I have missed? What would I have missed had I not gotten lucky and passed out? That sounds weird, but I walked my daughter down the aisle last year. She got married. Like, come on. My son Cam, a state championship game. I showed a video at another convention of that. Like, man, I would have missed out on so many things. My wife and I retied the knot in Antigua. Like, so many different things. But three things that I'm just going to talk about really, really quickly is eating, obviously working out, and sleep. Because I was a guy like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Who says that? We're in the profession. Sleep when I'm dead. No, sleep, like I've heard from doctors that say if you have a choice of workout or sleep, sleep. Get your sleep. Get your 7 or 8 hours if you can. It's hard with our profession, so we're going to talk a little bit of that. I'll talk about sleep first. There's apps out there. I have an app, and I was telling Cam this the other day, and it'll tell you the percentage of sleep you got. Guess what I got last night? 46%. Thank you, Joe Bunn, for the tequila last night.
That's my fault. Blame me.
So yeah, there's apps out there, and they're going to tell you the percentage of sleep that you get, and that's going to help you immensely. The other day, it was 96, and I'm like, why was it 96 on Tuesday? I was outside, and being outside helps you sleep better. If you're a person, you're like anyone like an insomniac doesn't sleep great. I'm one of those people. Get yourself outside. Sun is so good for you. Not saying going out there burning or anything like that. I was at the beach all day. It was at 96. I was like, that makes sense to me. So sleep, number one. Number two, eating. Like, how do you know what to eat? All that stuff. I'm not an expert on that stuff. And you guys are probably like, oh, this guy likes eating kale and stuff like that. I hate eating kale. I would love to go eat McDonald's right now. I love Doritos. I love popsicles and crap food. But you can't. Chris, if you don't mind, I'm going to give you an example. I mentioned this to Chris, and I said, he has a very nice car, by the way. And I said, what octane do you put in your car? Is it 87, 91, or 93? He's like, of course it's 93. And I'm like, why don't we put 93 in our bodies? We're not thinking about that. In my car, I'm going to take care of my car, but you're not going to take care of yourself. So, and listen, I have the 80-20 rule. 80%, I'm going to eat good stuff. And 20%, I'm going to eat that crap every now and then because you got to live, so forth and so on. So, how do I know what's good and what's bad for me? I'm not a nutritionist. There's an app, and if you get anything out of this, the Yuka app, Y-U-K-A. Chris was like, what it does is you have a barcode on everything that is sold, right? You scan that barcode, it'll give you a rating from 0 to 100. 0 meaning it's not good. Soda, by the way, which I love. Coke, 0. Pepsi, 0. Mountain Dew, 0. But there'll be things on there like we were doing potato chips, and I'm like, I'm going to have Lay's potato chips. It was a 30 out of 100. I'm like, come on, but it'll give you alternatives. So I went down the bottom. It was Cape Cod potato chips. They were at 90 out of 100. So gosh, they taste exactly the same. I'm going to have the Cape Cod. It'll help you make better choices. The Yuka, Y-U-K-A app. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is working out. I am not, Mike Walter just talked about marathon running and stuff like that. I am not that guy. If you said you can have a root canal or you can go, run 4 miles, I'm like, put the Novocaine in. Like, I'm taking the root canal every time. I am not a runner. But where was I this morning? I was sweating tequila with Joe Bunn on the treadmill this morning in the gym there. It doesn't matter what you do. Here's another thing. Just sweat once a day. And, you can take that any way you want to, but do something to help your body once a day. What is Big Daddy referring to over here? Did you just?
I'm fine.
Okay, yeah, I figured you were. Big Daddy said sex, probably, but that's all right. Still sweating, but Just do one thing, one small thing a day, and you know, like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it down the future, you know, down the line. Don't wait. Like, I think when I go away, like, to things like this is where I start things. Like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna start scheduling things. I'm gonna use Calendly now. We do business stuff, but we never think about ourselves. Start today. Like, go for a walk on the boardwalk tomorrow. It's beautiful out there. Try something, and then guess what? That'll turn into a habit down the road. And so why should you do that? If you don't do it for yourself, like, do it for your family. Like, I'm not going to get emotional here, but my son's here, and he's going to be a full-time DJ now. Like, come on, man. I would have missed that. Like, it's amazing, you know? I said to Chris Washburn, I said, if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your future kids, man. And he's like, Todd, that hit home so much to me because it really meant a lot to me because, you know, my future kids, I want to be able to be there for them. I'm going to, you know, my dad died at 54. I'm going to be 108. I'm doubling that. You know, that's my plan, you know. I'm going to try to get there. I'm going to borrow Big Daddy's walker. Can I borrow your walker? I said I'm going to borrow your walker in a couple of years.
Oh, listen, I got a wheelchair outside. By the way, you guys come to the closer on tomorrow night, on Wednesday night. I'll be throwing wheelchairs and walkers to everybody.
Please, if you're not following me on Instagram, do Jock in the Box Entertainment, and I'm happy to send you David Goggins books for motivation. There's a guy, Jesse Itzler, that motivates me. Like, find someone to help you. Get a workout partner. Get someone to, you know what? Cam and I did not want to get up this morning, but we kind of promised each other we would, and guess what? We were in that gym this morning watching Joe Budden sweat tequila. I was sweating the tequila, by the way. I think that's it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Oh, what's that?
Questions?
Yeah.
Jock in the Box Entertainment, Jock, Jock in the Box Entertainment.
Now, did you rename your AV department?
Our AV is Powerhouse Productions. After my dad owned a catering business, so it's just Powerhouse Catering. So we have an AV portion
My
too.
friends, could you please round of applause, amazing.
Thank you for letting me come by.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, my pleasure.
Appreciate you very much.
All right.
Take that.
Oh, I got to put this on this thing? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Is that good? Oop, is that good? That okay?
Yeah.
All right.
It's Chris. He's a professional. He's doing it.
One last thing I forgot to say.
Yeah.
Please.
One thing. When it comes to like eating, as I heard this analogy the other day, you have a big plate glass window, right? If you take a pebble and you throw it as hard as you can at it, you're not going to break that window, right? If you take a whole bunch of pebbles and you throw it at that window, it's going to break. And that's food. That's me on a Friday having a prime rib, and then me on a Saturday having the shrimp with butter, and then me on a Sunday doing a wedding and having the chicken that has cheese on it, stuff like that. Those are those multiple pebbles going at that window. Pack away, just every now and then, like, bring a salad with you or something like that. It can be very helpful. In our business, it's so hard to eat good in our business. Bring your own food sometimes. It's not a bad thing. My cardiologist said, why would you ever eat wedding food? And I was like, because it tastes good. She's like, it is the worst food in the world for you. And I'm sorry if anyone owns a venue or something like that, but it's just rich. It's not made for people to eat every single day. It's more for, once a month for the people that are going to suck.
Amen. Amen, Todd.
Yeah, sure.
So just to give some, Chris Washburn, big fan of yours, thank you, Todd.
Right back
Give some context to what he was saying. So I got to see Todd a few weeks ago give this presentation a little more in depth about the health thing. And I went to him and I told him, hey, and like I said, I think this is going to relate to a lot of people in here that are missing that inspiration. You heard him tell how I was going to do this with my family. So I told him, I said, hey, I just can't get myself to motivate, go to the treadmill and eat well. Why can't I do this? What am I missing? Like, help me. What am I thinking? That's where he told me, I saw the story about Cam, and he started talking about, well, I don't have kids yet, but think about your future kids. Walking your daughter down the aisle, seeing your son win the state championship. And that almost brought me to tears. Because when I started thinking about it, yes, that was the inspiration, that's what I needed, that was the big help from Todd to visualize and put those feelings and thoughts in my mind that's helping me now to further motivate. So, my message to y'all is figure out what's going to inspire you. If you are having trouble with that, is it the kids? Is it the more money? But I think you're going to connect something on the emotional level in here. And the kids was it for me. So, again, thank you, Todd. And try to find out what it is and you can talk to someone else and maybe they will help point you in that direction.
Thank you, Chris. Go ahead.
Well, I have a question for the group here, and that is, raise your hand if you have someone who, if you had an emergency right now, that you can contact, call to cover you? Raise your hand if you know someone. Okay. Anyone not be in that position where you have someone that you can call right away? Because if you don't, it's a really good idea to put together relationships with people to have backups. Backup is not just the equipment. You want to have backup staff. If you could do it in-house, great. But if not, have relationships with other DJs that are your colleagues and local, and have plans put together with them in case something happens for you and something happens for them. Sean?
Amen. Jake said it best before in the introductions this morning. We're not competitors here this week. We are colleagues. The only competition you all have is yourself. There are people out there that will help. I know this because we've called, I got Todd, I got Mike. There's so many people out there. My friends from Josh Last Company and everybody else. We are all in this together. We are not rocket scientists. We are not rocket scientists. We press, Mike Walter said it best, we press buttons of other people's music, and we get to spread love on a daily and weekly basis. We're not in competition with each other. If somebody needs help, help them. It will only better you as a person, better you as a business, whatever the case may be. I've watched, and to get back to my situation, the toughest thing I've ever had to do, my mom was still alive when I got cancer, both cancers. I was able to tell her the first time. I had to avoid my mother for 6 months because if I told her I got cancer a second time, that would have killed her, number one. Number two, I had a car accident where my truck flipped over 3 times. And yes, my friends, I'm still here. And I was working the next day. And I want to thank Carlos and Tony, my boys from CNT. You guys are my brothers. You're my friends. And I will be forever thankful for you guys in my life. Always know that. These are the guys that stepped up to help me with equipment. Johnny Roz. Johnny, please stand up. Johnny, stand up. Johnny Roz is one of the greatest human beings to walk the face of the earth and a legend in this business. And he and I do a lot of business together. We're going to call our new company the Old Farts Still Live Company. But this is the kind of thing you got to have. We're all in this together. We can all get the same equipment. We can all get the same lights. Mr. Chris.
During COVID, not actually 2020, but 2021, when we were doing Mondays like The Godfather, Sunday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, we were going nuts. North Jersey is like one of the busiest areas for the wedding industry. If it wasn't for the networking that I've done with Sean and Jerry Sucusa and Mike Walter, we actually had a dinner on November 1st called the Holy Shit We Made It Dinner, okay, and that November. But at one point or another, all 4 of us called upon one another to fill in for somebody who went down with COVID, somebody who couldn't make it, somebody who was here, somebody who was there. There was no competition. There was everybody has got to pitch in, and it really starts with a place like this, with networking and getting to know people. Because look, it's as short as 10 years ago. I really didn't know everybody that I know now, and I'm friends with everybody that I am now. And it started here, and that's what I'm talking about. The networking and stuff is so key to get to know people in your area, in your market. You are not competition, because I'm guaranteeing you there's going to be sometimes that you're going to help each other in either a physical form of like, I need you to fill in a spin or this or that, or an equipment thing or something like that. It starts right here.
Amen.
Amen to that.
I rolled my van 3 times, and yes, I was working the next day. Luckily, none of my equipment got hurt or whatever the case may be. And a real quick funny story, I had to go to the hospital. They took me out in an ambulance. I'm sitting on the back of the ambulance step going, I need a phone. I got to call my kids right now because I hid everything from the kids before. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm bleeding like a suck pig, and I got people taking pictures of me in the emergency room going, oh, this is funny stuff. Oh, yeah, this is great. So we're doing our thing. They take me in for the brain scan. I said, ladies, all you're going to find up there is spider webs. I swear to God, there's nothing up there. I sang Don't Stop Believing to the nurses. Come back in. I'm still getting heckled by my quote-unquote friends that are there to make sure I'm okay. I got thrown out of the hospital because the gentleman that was next door needed to take a nap. I said, what's the matter with him? He goes, oh, well, he's got a sore ankle, but he needs to take a nap. And you guys are making too much noise. I peeked my head into his curtain in his room, and I said, nighty-night, and they threw me out. I can't understand it. But go back to the networking and everything else. We are all in this together. But telling my kids was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And to tell my kids again that I got sick again, but thank God it wasn't the big C, it was whatever else. Never, ever, ever think that you don't have somebody to turn to. Because if you have my phone number, ask the 3,100 people who I call every year for their birthday.
Right there.
3,100 people for their birthday. I'm here 24/7. And everybody in your area, there's no friends or foes. There's no competition. 2023 and beyond, I'm here to make sure that our future, and because we've got guys like Chris, we've got guys like Dan and Josh and Chris D'Amico, Pascal, all you guys, Danny Carpenter, all my friends, and you're all friends in here because I know each and every one of you. The future is bright. Keep it that way. Remember, if there's no them, there is no us. Always remember that. If there's anybody else, is there anybody who wants to share any kind of story about health or anything? George, oh, please. Mr. a nice round of applause for Mr. George Panzita, please.
All right.
Hold it. We got to record you. Thank you. Hey,
Does this clip on?
I'm good.
Okay,
2023,
so
I know my shit now.
my number one point.
There you go.
Don't wait to be broken to get started. I'm not broken, okay? 62 years old. My dad passed 2 weeks before his 62nd birthday. And from 40 years old, and before 40, I was like, age is a number. Don't worry about it. Your grandfather's 94 years old, when he passed away. So my father used to say, you got great genes. He's going to live forever. My dad didn't take his heart medicine. So he didn't make it. He didn't like the medicine. It did something weird to him. My mom's side of the family, very cancer-ridden. A lot of them didn't make it. My mom didn't make 60. So it was in my head from 40 years old. I'm like, how did this happen? So I strived to make 62. Around 50-ish, I guess, was my first attempt at, reducing my weight. I lost 40 pounds. And it wasn't that difficult. It just seems like a lot of things in life for me haven't been difficult. COVID came about, and I was very inactive because I was up in the woods, sitting in the middle of a creek, watching the bears go by. True story. So then October came, and we got crushed. I worked so physically hard, it was unbelievable. But then I got the shot, and my second one, I had a bad reaction to it. Very bad. And it was, I didn't address it probably properly because I really have contempt for doctors, all right? Because they fix a symptom. You got a heart problem, they fix the symptom. So if you want to do yourself a favor, okay, there's going to be, my thing's simplistic, like for your health, there are some advanced molecules, they're not specific to a, singular thing. You have a heart problem, here, take this, we're going to mask that symptom. These are actually things that go to the cellular level. And for you to learn about that, because I don't want to, take up much time, I highly suggest, like what I do is, so my daily walk of 5 miles or 4 miles or 3 miles or a bike ride, that within that hour, I do an Audible book, all right? And here's one you definitely want to, there's some breaking, cutting edge science. This is a year old. The book is Lifespan, Dr. Sinclair. But if you want to just cut to the chase, NMN, pretty simple. You should be taking NMN every day and resveratrol at a minimum. So there you go. You don't even have to do an exercise, do anything. Those two supplements are going to help you at the cellular level because aging is a disease. Aging is a disease. So in order to slow it down, stop it. So NMN, resveratrol. And we had to get together, of course, with the Paladinos the other night. Dr. Jill and I, we were talking shop. She does resveratrol. She's looking into MNN. So trust me, she'll be doing MNN just like you should be doing. And with any supplement, you got to find like a source that's a good known source that backs it up with testing. So don't wait till you're broken. Get started. And for me, I just lost probably almost hitting 30 pounds. No sugar. Everyone's like, But trust me, once you do it and you get past that point, then you don't I can't wait till I get, I drive by a McDonald's, I got to stop in for my double, cheeseburger. You're past that mentally, and you really just don't want it. And you can be happy with just honestly, because now you're in a mental state where you're very conscious of this, and you're like, well, I could get away with 2 bites of that, birthday cake. I could participate because in the long run, keto is not sustainable. Anyone that's telling you that keto or all these other diets are sustainable, they're really not. You got to have a little bit, 10% of balance in there, not 50%. Okay, half of the days I'm on keto, and then the other half of the days I'm like. So the basic thing is, don't wait till you're broken. All right. Thank God I'm not broken. I just had and another one. Tony Robbins has a book out. Tony Robbins does a bunch of things. You got 200 doctors together, leading scientific doctors. So that's a good one as far as reading and knowing what's going on with healthcare. But really, put a little bit of time into it. And for me, I'm not a book reader. I love having people read books to me. So you can absorb more, fast. You'll be doing it while you're exercising, and you'll definitely open your eyes to what's going on out there. So you don't need a stent with some of the bleeding edge stuff that's going on. There's stuff that'll reverse, your arteries and open them up. So don't wait till you get to that point where you need an emergency stent. Okay, that's where I'm at. That's where I want you to be at. I think we can, do it together.
Thank you.
Well, M&M's. I'm supposed to stop sugar and he's talking
Stop.
about M&M's.
Stop.
I immediately went fat guy friendly. I can't help it. Oh, I gotta put this on this friggin' thing now. Hello. Yes, ma'am.
I've got an over-under of how many F-bombs he does. I'm at 6 right now. Have you counted?
Oh, I ain't done yet.
Yeah, he's not done yet, no.
I could do that in one sentence. Are you kidding? Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Oh, hold on.
So to kind of go off of what you just said, George, nice to meet you, George. Don't wait to fix yourself till you're broken. That also goes with your emotional and your mental health, which has a very big impact on your body, on your relationships. So don't wait until things are broken with your spouses, broken with your partners, to go to that therapist, to go and try to fix things. And sometimes it really is just about the smallest change like that can actually turn your physical health around because you're not holding on to it. So don't wait till you're broken for either physical stuff or your mental and your emotional stuff. Oui, oui, monsieur. Saint-Jacques. And I'm Tori. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Hey, I want to hit on something also. Footwear. This is important topic. We have this a lot in the forum at DJ I Just Sharing, talking about footwear. Just keep this in mind that your body is always under attack every single week when you go out to work, and the footwear that you wear is going to have a huge impact on many things, including your spine, your vertebrae, and the vertebrae and the spine is the central nervous system that controls your health. And so as things start to break down in your body because you're not wearing good footwear, I never thought that it mattered. I went to Walmart to buy sneakers, and I never really thought it mattered.
Skechers.
It really matters. Skechers are great.
Skechers are ones that you don't have to bend over and put on your feet. Oh, yeah, baby, the step-ins.
Yeah. Orthotics are custom made for you.
Yes.
It's definitely,
Skechers actually have the orthotics.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
They're awesome, thank you.
and they have the arch support as well, which I would highly recommend that for the DJs in the room, the arch support. Yep.
All right, we're gonna have, can we have Johnny Roz, Michael Lieber's, and Brandon Brown? All three of you. Come on, Johnny. Big round of applause for my Johnny.
Connecticut guys. My competition right here. These guys. Sean calls me, I don't need no microphone.
Yeah, the recording.
We're recording it.
Sorry, modern technology, you're going to record this. So first challenge I'll give all of you in the room here. I was able to get out of my gig Saturday night. It was a 50th birthday, so I was able to send one of my experienced DJ to handle that. So I came down here, and then my goal was on Sunday to work out in a gym for free, and Monday to work out in a gym for free. So yesterday, I went to the Ocean Hotel, and I walked into that gym, signed my name, signed a room number, and I worked out. No questions asked. Today, I came to this hotel right here at the Hard Rock, signed my name, and I worked out. I'm staying at resorts.
That just means he's cheap. I think I got that out of that.
Oh, man.
Well, when you become a senior like yourself, most gyms are, most of them are free. So the gyms are free. But I've been doing this forever, and it was interesting because when I got to resorts, I went by this little disco thing, and they had all these 45 RPM records hanging up. So do you want to know why the 45 RPM records were hanging up over there? Yeah. You want to know why, right? So it was 45 years ago that Resorts opened the first casino in Atlantic City. And I was in line waiting to get in. And guess what? You needed a jacket and a tie and a sport coat to get in Resorts, the first hotel there. So, that was good. But getting back to, what you said, Todd, just right on it. The gentleman there, the young lady in the back, everybody, you're right. I play basketball 3 days a week, year-round, in a senior basketball league. We go to the senior games. We qualify for senior games. That means you go to the nationals. We played against Jerry West. If anybody might know Jerry West, he played into that. And underhand basket. And the other thing is I do play in a slow pitch softball. Double headers every Monday. We were rained out today, and now the game's Wednesday. But I am going to stay at this show. 52.
You're younger than me, so help yourself.
I'm younger than Sean, 66. 74. 74. I started in my band, I was 12 years old. From that, in 1973, I did my first record hop, going from one turntable to the other with 45s, no pitch control, and a very interesting story about 1973 that maybe a lot of you do not know. That's when Kool Herc's sister in the Bronx asked him to go and play 45s, and that was the start and creation of hip-hop when Kool Herc was playing those 45s and flipping those over. All right, so very interesting. 73 is when I started my DJ business. So it's been a long time. But you got to stay healthy. I mean, whatever you can do, eat correctly. Everybody cheats every now and then. Last night I had a drink. It had simple syrup in it. 2 drinks I had with gin in it, and I'm a diabetic. I got up this morning. If you know anything about blood readings, it was 88. But once again, you know, you have to balance the food. And what's right for you and what's right for you might not be right for me. So I love these guys. Damn Connecticut over here. You guys are the best. Thank you
Amen.
all, folks.
We love you, Johnny.
Stay well.
One of the legends of our industry.
My friends, that gentleman right there, we talk, I think Chris is, Mr. D'Amico's my first call. Yes, Chris is my first call. My second call is Jerry, Syracuse. My third call of the day is to Mr. Johnny Ruz each and every morning. Johnny, I can't thank you enough for all the help that our co-broking and everything else has done. He's amazing. Guys, we got 2 more stories before we call it a day. Michael Levers first, and then Brandon Brown. Nice round of applause for these gentlemen. Hold on. Let me do modern technology quickly. Hold on.
No, the middle, Sean.
God, you'll be
The head.
Here, help yourself.
Right
Here, good luck. Hold
there it is.
Hey, look at that. All right, how's everyone doing? My name's Michael Levers. I'm 44 years old. I'm going to piggyback off something Todd said. And Todd, I just sent you a friend request. The restorative power of sleep is super important. When I was 36, 8 years ago, I was married, and my wife said to me, you need to go see your doctor because you might have a sleeping disorder. You are tossing and turning violently. You snore like it's a freight train. But more importantly, you stop breathing at night. It's called sleep apnea. And I would fall asleep, and I would never wake up consciously and know this, but all of a sudden, and take a huge gasp. And it prevents you from getting into REM sleep. That is where you recharge and you wake up refreshed. How many people go to bed for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours and you wake up and you are exhausted? Even though you were out, but you wake up tired. And you feel like, I just want to hit the snooze bar. So I took her advice. I went to my doctor. I said, I think I have a sleeping disorder. I went to a sleep study at the hospital. You spend the night. They watch you with cameras and hook you up like Darth Vader with full of electrodes or whatever. And they just say, go to sleep. A week later, they said, yes, you have sleep apnea. Come back. You're going to sleep again. Now we're going to put the mask on, the CPAP machine, and get you fitted correctly for that. What I found out was that I have the lowest form of sleep apnea. What happens is I have 5 to 9 interruptions in my sleep every night that prevent me from getting into REM sleep. If you have between 10 and 19, that's a moderate form. And if you have 20 plus interruptions in your sleep, that is a severe case of it. 80% of the people diagnosed with sleep apnea are men, but women can have it as well. And most men don't get diagnosed with it until they're in their 50s. And it puts tremendous stress on your heart and your circulatory system when you stop breathing, and then you take that gasp and your body starts kind of running properly. So I took the test, got fitted. They sent a technician to my house with the machine. Nothing I had to do. It was set for the correct air pressure that keeps your airway open. Yes, when I go to sleep, I look like a MiG fighter pilot. But it was the best night's sleep I had had probably in 20 years. And my wife at the time said, you didn't move, you didn't toss and turn, and I woke up restored and fresh. It was the best thing I ever did. My ex-wife and I are still friends, you know, we still raise our daughter, but I get to make sure that I'm not putting undue stress on my heart. I'm gonna be there with my 5.5-year-old daughter now, watching her play soccer. And Chris, it's worth every bit of it, bro. It's awesome. So, if you have some of those symptoms I talked about, just go see your doctor, say, I think I have sleep apnea, get a test. It could be the best thing you do for your sleep and for the rest of your day. See me if you want to talk about it more directly. Oh, and the person who loves it the best this week is the guy I room with every week, Jake, over there. He's basically told me I'm not allowed to room with him if I don't bring the machine with me. All right, I took up enough time. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now, who do I see about singing and doing introductions in your sleep? That's me. That's me. I'm singing songs, I'm singing lullabies, and I'm doing wedding party introductions in my sleep. Right? Yes. Yes. We're going to introduce a wonderful friend, another friend, Mr. Brandon Brown, the Kung Fu DJ. Kung Fu DJ.
Thanks for the opportunity. What's up, y'all? My name is Brandon Brown. I'm from Chicago. Just turned 40. Been an entertainer in Chicago, mainly in the bar mitzvah realm as an MC, but it can also DJ, as y'all know. Man, 2019, going into 2020, New Year's Eve, I'm on vacation with my family. I'm in tip-top shape, lifting, practicing martial arts, jump roping. Only thing I don't do is sprint. I was sprinting around, playing Frisbee, ruptured my Achilles tendon. Couldn't walk for months. I was told that my recovery would take a year. I'm like, I've got parties to do. I got to go drum with the Bears drum line. Like, I got things to do, and you're telling me I can't do these things. It was devastating on my mental and my physical. I was like, what can I do now? I don't know if you guys have talked about fasting or not, but fasting is incredible. We have been taught and programmed that we need to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm here to tell you as proof that I've tried this. Intermittent fasting is where it's at. Pick an 8-hour window. Some people are like, I can't do that. I can't not eat for 16 hours because you've been programmed to think that way. Pick an 8-hour window that works for you, and it will change everything. You will allow your body to digest and use all the nutrients that you eat efficiently every day. You know what? I take that back. Not every day. Because since, we're DJs and we throw down on the weekends, it's hard to make smart choices. So what I did personally was I was eating clean and fasting 5 days out of the week, Monday through Friday. When the weekend came, sometimes you got to eat late at night, right? Sometimes you got to make those not so good choices. And I stayed lean and thin and strong. And to put on top of that, y'all, I was lifting a stage. This was about a year later. Lifting a stage, gave myself a hernia. Had to undergo hernia. So within 2 years, I had surgery on my Achilles, had to repair that. Hernia surgery. And because of the fasting, I didn't gain any weight. Still kept my abs, and I certainly couldn't do any sit-ups with the hernia surgery. Fasting works. I want to encourage y'all to try it for yourself. It will change your life. Water, sleep, fasting, working out, you will feel incredible. Thank you.
True. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to also hit on something, too. With the fasting, the most common is 16-8, meaning 16 hours in which you're not eating, and then you have an 8-hour window. But there's also 20, and there's 4. There's eating one time a day. There's different variations. But basically, a lot of science has come out where after about 12, 14 hours, your gut is doing a reset. But you have to get to that point. Then when you get to about 48 hours, and they do recommend it if you look into fasting, if you do more than, it may be tough for some people, but if you can do 48 hours, you get to what's called autophagy. And that is defined as to eat oneself, which is essentially your body is doing a complete clean out of itself. It is getting rid of all of the dead and bad and toxic cells in your body, including cancer cells. And it's replenishing with brand new cells. So I would really recommend people in this room to do a little bit more investigation on it, because at first I didn't get it. I was listening to Marcello, I still didn't get it. But after doing a little bit more research, it's real. It's the real thing, and it can make a big difference in your health.
Do you drink water during this?
Yeah.
Okay, only thing is water.
I've heard some people say no water. I said that's insane. Yeah, dry fast. I've heard. I don't think that's a very good idea personally. Doesn't seem natural. Right. Drink water. Right. Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come
Yeah,
on
come
up
on
here.
up.
On the waterfront, I don't know, definitely, you need electrolytes. Okay, you need to replenish your minerals and that. So if you're fasting,
Right.
you need water with electrolytes. Because believe it or not, just straight up water is not, especially in large quantities, to kill you. So
Right.
you want water with electrolytes. Dr. Burr.
And potassium too, right?
It's included. If you
Yeah.
get you get your electrolytes from a little bit of pink Himalayan salt in the water. Yeah. And salt's not bad for you. Trust me. There's a lot of myths in it.
All right, I'm not going to be long. My name is Gene. I'm from the Hudson Valley. Big shout out to everybody here from the Hudson Valley.
Welcome, welcome.
First, I want to shout out Big Daddy. I didn't see you in a year. You look great, bro. Come on, man. Come on, give me some. Give me some. So back in 2020, I lost my mom, separated from my wife, all within a month's time. I gained 30 pounds. I was very depressed. I was very anxious. And one of the best decisions I made was I joined a gym or fitness studio called Orange Theory Fitness. I actually work there now. You're a coach there? Okay. So I just want to encourage you guys, if there's an Orange Theory in your area, go check it out. Orange Theory changed my life. It's a 60-minute workout, best 60-minute workout in the country, in my opinion. I don't want no problems, okay? So, you know, since I started working out there, like I said, I lost 30 to 40 pounds. I ran a 5K, then I did a 10K, then I did a triathlon. It was a mini triathlon. And now on August 20th, I'm going to be running my first half marathon, and then I'm going to be doing a full marathon. So I just want to encourage you guys. You can do it. I'm in my mid-40s. I'm borderline diabetic, and I have asthma, all right? So if I can do it, you guys can do it as well. That's all I got.
Thank you. Give him a nice round of applause one more time, everybody. Come on.
And since we're in a room full of DJs, the Orange Theory thing, by the way, they hire DJs, because I know because they've hired me to spit in their classes, so you can get a free membership or you can get paid and work out. So there's a tip.
As long as you get clothes like you wear, I'll go in. Guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. But I hope this was informative. Just know this. You've always got somebody around you. If you need to reach out, ask me for my phone number. I'm always here. Everybody here, you have somebody around you in your area or whatever. You never know what somebody's going through because nobody wants to share and they're afraid to share or whatever the case may be. Just know that you've got people around you that will share, network, whatever the case may be. Do not be afraid. We love you. Thank you. I hope this was informative as we hoped. Thank you all very, very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Who loves you?
Amen. Thank you, everybody.
How are you? He's not kidding, but I'm keep quiet.
Chris, thank you for doing that.